Welcome back, family. Let's get into it. It is a funny day indeed in Africa right now, in general, not right now specifically, when outsiders, primarily Europeans, white Americans, Chinese, Arabs, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, are getting caught and arrested and being booted out and deported from our countries. What has to be happening in China for you to come all the way to Africa to conduct a criminal empire? One of the things I cover on my channel is demographic crisis, and China is going through it right now. As a result, they have an entire generation of men who have nothing else to do. They can't get married, they cannot do anything. So they are exported all over the world. And they're in Africa right now in their numbers, selling counterfeit products to our children, selling all kinds of garbage, poaching our wildlife to make medicines. Here we are on today's story where we have a couple of nationals who have been arrested for engaging in cybercrimes in Zambia. And that's just Zambia alone, right? We hear about stories coming out of Kenya, out of Ghana, out of Congo, out of Zimbabwe, out of Mozambique, out of South Africa. We know. Zambia court sentences 22 Chinese nationals for cyber crimes.
In Zambia, 22 Chinese nationals have been sentenced to long prison terms for cybercrime. The Chinese nationals were allegedly behind several internet fraud and online scams that recently targeted not just Zambians, but also people from countries like Singapore, Peru, and the United Arab Emirates. The lengthy jail terms handed by the Zambian court range from 7 to...
I just need people to understand just the irony of seeing a bunch of non-black peoples in Africa being arrested en masse. You will never hear a story of a bunch of Africans getting caught in China doing some weird shit. Running scams, producing counterfeit foods, poaching Chinese animals. You won't hear any of that. But they're here. They are here, doing all of these things that they would never do in China.
To 11 years. Among the convicts are Gu Tianzhou, the sole female member, who broke down tearfully as her 7-year sentence was announced, and Li Xianlin got the longest sentence of 11 years and is accused of being the mastermind behind the scams.
And people try to create this image that African countries are incompetent and we don't know what we're doing, how to conduct ourselves. There's a degree where this may be true, as is for every single country on earth right now. Look at your own economies to judge. But the fact that you have this inherent understanding among all peoples all over the world that Africa is a place where you can do whatever you want. And not because we created that image ourselves, but because they sold it to each other. Right? The Europeans and their colonial activity sold to the world that you don't have to respect the African. And now every person knows to look at an African person in a very disrespectful and mistreatful way. Just go to Africa, do what you want. Whether it's committing cyber crimes, producing and selling counterfeit products, poaching animals, or engaging in illicit activities, where you keep having a bunch of European men being found with underage peoples. That's the world we live in. And including Chinese men who have been found to be making single mothers of 14-year-olds in Zimbabwe. That's some crazy stuff. That is some crazy stuff. And we as African peoples must be serious about imposing our security. Without a doubt.
The court also fined other members of the gang between $1,500 and $3,000. The sentencing comes after a trial lasting several weeks, during which the Chinese nationals pleaded guilty to 3 charges that include computer-related misrepresentation,
Look at him. Look at him. Thugs. Criminals.
identity fraud and illegally operating a network or service. Along with them, a Cameroonian national has also been sentenced.
Just the beginning. In the past,
National has also been sentenced.
Look at the equipment they're messing with. They are loaded with tech to conduct all sorts of cybercrime activities. And at least they're getting arrested in Zambia, right? They're not getting sent back to China, where they may very well sneak back in and find themselves living in some other African country. Let them get locked up in an African country. Banged up abroad, boy. Let's go.
just the beginning. In the past, we have seen criminals walking away freely after committing such or similar crimes. But this time, because we have the Cybersecurity and Cyber Crime Act or Bill,
That's Africa for you, family. We got coders and programmers everywhere. I know that I have not been posting much lately. I thought this year we're going to have a lot more time to post, but I don't, family. Been upgrading my programming skills, learning new languages and so on and so forth, and I'm up to my neck in assignments. We don't play when it comes to computer technology. The origins of binary code in the motherland. And right now that we as African peoples are getting to our technological advancement, they're going to know. You don't come here and play fast and loose with Africans. We will show you. We will find you out.
Cybercrime Act in the country. So this is where now I can confidently say that the law or the act now is operational, and it's a warning even to other would-be offenders.
These arrests were made last week on Friday and is among a bigger group of 77 suspects who were arrested in April in connection with what authorities called a sophisticated internet fraud syndicate. These 77 suspects included mostly Zambian nationals who were allegedly being recruited to be call center agents to carry out the fraudulent activities. They had reportedly been tasked with engaging in deceptive conversations with unsuspecting mobile users across various platforms, such as WhatsApp, Telegram, chat rooms, and others, using scripted dialogues. Now, these Zambian suspects were later released on bail so they could help the authorities with their investigations. Several people in the country inexplicably lost money from their mobile phones or bank accounts. That prompted action from the authorities. During the extended probe, Zambian authorities raided a Chinese-run company in the capital Lusaka called Golden Top Support Services. Authorities confiscated numerous devices facilitating deceptive communication. More than 13,000 SIM cards, both local and foreign, were confiscated, which, as per the authorities, indicated the extent of the operation's reach. They also found 2 firearms and about 78 rounds of ammunition belonging to a Chinese national linked to the business.
Man, these folks do not play. They're coming here to do business. Criminal in its nature, but nonetheless. They have it in their heads that truly Africa is a free-for-all. We have to remind them that that time has changed.
Which, as per the authorities, indicated the extent of the operation's reach. They also found 2 firearms and about 78 rounds of ammunition belonging to a Chinese national linked to the business. However, the Chinese company is yet to comment on the allegations.
Given to or the sentence, we can say it's they needed more stiffer sentence or more years, or what they have given them. We can say it is. And looking at the crime as it stands, we have not been told how much they have stolen. We have not been told as well those guns and ammunition they had, how they have been used.
Despite
Insane.
the crime by its nationals, China's influence in Zambia is significant. Beijing's direct investments in Zambia surpassed $178 million by the end of last year. From mining.
Another thing that will continue to boggle my mind is how everyone on earth has gotten it into their heads that just go to Africa and you will mine, get whatever resource you need. And we are so desperate to develop, we are not willing to focus on what matters most. We actually believe that whatever deals outsiders have to offer will help us get to wherever we want to get to in terms of development. It is embarrassing to have more outsiders involved in your mining activities than your own people profiting. And a shift in consciousness has to happen where the whole continent knows better than to sign away mining rights to outsiders. It should be an African law that you cannot be an outsider and have mining rights. If you want mining concessions, you have to be at the mercy of some African mining company. 100% black owned. 100% guaranteed through psychological analysis that they are black conscious.
To agriculture and manufacturing, Chinese investments continue to surge in the southern African nation.
So irritating. So irritating. That's the world we live in, family. Neocolonialism is happening, where these outsiders are sending their agents or their criminals or their corporate devils. It's all the same. So whether it's cyber crimes or smuggling gold, poaching animals, no outsider knows to respect Africa, and no one is going to respect us. We have to do for each other, fam. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments below. I'm your host, MODISE The High King. Stay secure, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.